LPT, if a street performer is impressive enough to photograph/video, leave a tip. I was at a farmer's market with my 2-year-old once, and she stopped to dance to a street performer's music for a few minutes. I've never paid buskers any mind, but she danced, and I couldn't bring myself to stop her. She loved his music, and it was so cute. Other passersby stopped to comment on how cute it was. 2. Dropped the guy $20 after. It was the smallest bill I had on me, and frankly it was more than worth it for the memory. I'd like to add, don't stop to talk to a street musician for more than a minute, especially if it's to say you have no money and offer a SoundCloud. Don't stop till you've got enough. I once met a magician in New Orleans. I gave him the $20 that I brought for souvenirs, and it was well spent. I later ran into him practicing, and he's one of the coolest people I've ever met. His stage name is Magician on a Motorcycle. His actual name is Nico, and he was the highlight of my day. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I wish I could give it to Nico. Kiss him already. Yeah, I'd agree that if you photo/videograph them, you're accepting their offer to entertain you, and there's an implied transaction in that. A sort of unwritten contract. However, of course, in a public place, there cannot be any real expectation that you owe anyone anything outside of basic societal politeness, and solicitation does not factor into that. I can see it from both sides. If I'm vacationing somewhere, I take a lot of pictures. Cool building? Pic. Cool tree? Pic. Cool guy juggling? Pic. Him not paying the guy with a cool mural on his building. And unless there is something particularly special about the street performer, they are just part of the city and I don't owe them anything. R/unpopular opinion. If the performer is good enough to have made you stop and watch, you deserve to give him something. I've been following this rule for years now. I don't carry cash though. It's 2020. If your street performer doesn't have cash up, then it's his loss. Honestly, it's just about that point, isn't it? Unpopular opinion. Don't encourage it. If you like it, fine. But many, at least in NI, tend to harass people for money, saying backhanded compliments to tourists that they look like they can afford an iPhone/nice camera/shoes, but can't chip in a buck. That aside, they trend to use real estate in already crowded areas, or try to expand to subway platforms and trains. Not so bad in Seattle. Most people performing in public for tips don't say much of anything that I've seen. Just sorta set up and start doing their thing. Just saw a dude on what I can only describe as an electric violin shredding some tunes near the Space Needle this past weekend. Wish I had cash to give him. He was really impressive. The guy that hangs out in Pike Place Market with the parrot is my favorite. They always get $1 if here there when I visit. Nick and Hollywood have douchebag street performers. On a more serious note, I live in the second biggest city in my state, 200k population, and all the street performers we have been super kind and very humble. Maybe it's my area, but any tips I have given them were certainly not expected. Around here though, this tip seems to apply. If you want to stop and listen to them, then pay them for their time. If you like their performance, it would be very weird to take a picture or video. That seems dirty without asking their consent. I know they are in a public place. If you doubt this tip, go read a street cat named Bob, or watch the movie. It'll change your perspective permanently. How is this a life pro tip in any way? How is this a LPT? Agreed. Garbage tip. Especially when they're putting on a show of kinds. Edinburgh Festival has accepted contactless since 2018, and I've seen London museums have contactless stands for their donations. They're free but with a suggested donation of €5. Which is why I don't have any photos or videos of street performers. Also LPT, if you're the street performer, have a Cash App or other mobile paying service. Seen plenty of people I would gladly tip, but never had cash for. That's my rule for myself. If I like the performance enough to take a picture, I liked it enough to tip. Thanks for spreading the sentiment. I had a destination wedding, and my mom was telling me of this really good violinist who was performing on the streets during our stay. On the day of our wedding, we walked out onto the street to get some shots, and there she is, right outside our hotel performing. My soon-to-be husband and I danced in the street to the most beautiful music. Our photographer got the best shots with her in the background. We left her a very generous gift for being a part of our special day. I always thought this was like an unspoken rule. And if they have an accordion, my fiance has to intervene, so I don't empty my entire wallet into the bucket. I freaking love accordions. But what if you stop to see if they are any good, and it turns out not worth your time? You can hear them from far enough away. Trust me. Well, it's not always a musical performer. True. I was just talking about the music. I have heard some amazing ones. I always give them money. Like this guy playing the cello outside a cathedral in France. It really set the mood, I thought, and he was really good. I'd agree about those taking videos or pictures, but just stopping to watch, no. That's still up to the person. My mom would always tell me, when you tip a performer or pay to see someone perform, you aren't just paying for the entertainment, but for the countless hours of training and practice that it took that person to be able to entertain you. I have mad respect for those making a living in performance. They are in crowded public areas begging for attention. Give them money if you wanna, for whatever reason, even if you don't take a pic. But if I take a pic of anything or anyone mildly out of the norm, no way do I suddenly feel obligated to pay them for the privilege of snapping a pic. A woman was stabbed in Hollywood when a guy thought he would punish somebody for not abiding by this tip. If all of the superheroes, mixed CD guys, and performers disappeared from these busy places GMW, I would not miss most of them. I live in Nick, and this is a great tip. If I don't have any cash on hand, I do not photograph/video. I think that's respectful. Love this. Keep being yourself. We need more humans like you. Equals. I agree. But this isn't an LPT. This is etiquette. It doesn't me do anything but not come off as a dick to a stranger. I feel the downvotes coming, so let me reiterate. I agree with this message. But this is a low quality post in this sub. If you watch a decent part of the act, contribute something. Even pocket change adds up. If I have cash, I always leave something, even if they're terrible. You have to be so mentally strong to do something like that in public, and that by itself should be rewarded. This is a behavior that perpetuates fat strippers. Spot at a street performer. I hope this is a given for people. If you take a video or picture, you are obligated to tip them. You have received value from their performance. Street performers are amazing to me. There's such a story there, and the music is so unique. I always tip them to ensure they will be there for someone else to hear. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.